man who she abandoned for months to the media, and now presents her mother, Doria, speaking for the first time, telling outright lies about her ex-husband. I mean, this was a calculated attempt against the family.
Tom Bower, the legendary royal author, is sharpening his quill for a new edition of his book set to reveal huge secrets inside Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's marriage.
Get ready to have your world turned upside down, because the shocking truth about Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's marriage is about to be exposed. We're talking about a secret clause buried deep inside their prenup, one that Harry signed without realizing just how much it would cost him. And when you hear what it actually says, you'll understand everything. The moves Meghan has been making, the mystery behind the return of Sunshine Sachs, and why Harry could be losing far more than we ever realized.
Well, you know, Piers, you're the first person to say how limited Prince Harry is, unfortunately, and how his wife trades off her husband's fame and fortune, or not so great fortune now. I mean, this is the problem, but we're still interested because, after all, he's a great character in our modern day.
Tom Bower, the renowned investigative journalist and biographer, doesn't just rely on rumors. This man has taken down power players before, exposing corruption and the hidden truths that people like to bury. He's a force. So when he says he has evidence of a secret clause in the prenup, you better believe it's true. He's not here to gossip, he's here to reveal hard facts. Bower's reputation is built on exposing the untouchables, and now he's set his sights on Harry and Meghan.
And so he became hypersensitive and blamed the media for the crashes of his relationships, never thinking that they could have something to do with himself. So he's a very complicated, depressed, unintelligent man who is seeking a role and has got really nobody on whom he could rely, which is in the end where Meghan stepped in. I mean, a needy man met a woman who could help him with his needs.
Sources close to the couple, including legal experts and former staff, have confirmed the existence of this clause. This isn't just a theory or some wild speculation. According to Bower, Harry was blindsided by the prenup's hidden terms. This is not a document Harry fully understood when he signed it. The timing of its creation? Well, let's just say it's as telling as the clause itself.
Very aggressive PR for the Sussexes, got way beyond herself because she really doesn't understand the British royal family or Britain, but understands how to project her clients. And so I think she got it wrong by leaking it, or even letting anyone know about it.
And of course, the news today that Harry's memoir is going to be published in the near future will just alarm the royal family here in England about what he's actually going to say to earn his money.
Sunshine Sachs, the PR firm known for handling celebrity crises, is back in the picture. But why now? In January 2026, just as things are starting to get real shaky for the Sussexes, they rehire Sunshine Sachs. It's not just about image management anymore, it's about controlling the narrative. And let's face it, they've been managing the PR game since day one, but now it's a whole different ballgame. Why bring them back after cutting ties so many years ago? Could it be that Meghan knew something was coming?
But I do think that when you're mocked so publicly as they've been, their value begins to nosedive pretty quickly. And I don't think they're finding any more sources of income.
Last week, we brought to you fresh news that Harry had been staying at the San Vicente bungalows to take a break from his family, despite owning a sprawling Montecito property together with Guesthouse. And this week, those rumours are intensifying.
Now, let's talk prenup. Typically, prenups are boring. They're about dividing assets, deciding who gets what if things go sour. Simple, right? Wrong. When it comes to royals, these documents are meticulously crafted. They don't just cover material assets, they lay out rules on how the royal title should be handled, even how media appearances will be handled. Diana's prenup, for instance, had clauses about her title after her split with Charles. But Meghan and Harry's agreement? It's different. It's got a clause that addresses something way more important than property.
I think personally, they've separated their professional lives, but I think what's really a great problem for them now, as of in the last few weeks, is that Meghan has got no real income anymore. She's finished.
You see British royal protocol and California law? They don't mix. California's community property rules mean that everything earned during the marriage is jointly owned. That's right, streaming deals, media contracts, even inheritance from after the wedding. But Tom Bauer's sources claim that there's more to it. Not only does the prenup lay out how to split those earnings, it specifically gives Meghan the upper hand.
Well, Meghan herself.
And Meghan herself.
In the months before she met Harry, was setting up paparazzi pictures in London. She now acts as if the paparazzi are literally the devil incarnate.
She begged the paparazzi to photograph her and they wouldn't. And when they did, she says, "Oh, I don't want to, I'm hurt." And that ridiculous story about how they first met, the whole thing was a tissue of inaccuracies, to be polite.
Because what do you make of that? Because as you know, Harry was always very insistent.
And here's where it gets even juicier. Meghan isn't just a passive player in this marriage. She's the business manager for all their joint ventures. That's right, she's the one who negotiated the deals, and under California law, combined with the specific language in their prenup, Meghan holds the lion's share of the control over the Sussex brand, their joint ventures, and even Harry's memoir, Spare. But here's the kicker. This wasn't part of the original 2018 prenup. This amendment, this sneaky little addition, was added in 2020, right when things were starting to shift. Harry didn't know what he was signing, or he trusted Meghan too much. Either way, it's going to cost him. Now, we all know that life was changing fast for Harry and Meghan. In 2020, they were leaving royal life behind, heading to California and signing big money deals with Netflix and Spotify. And of course, it made sense to update their prenup. But Bauer reveals this amendment wasn't just about money. It was about control. Legal professionals who worked on Meghan's first divorce from Trevor Engelson say she's meticulous. She reads every line, every clause, and questions every single detail. She learned from that divorce that it's all about protecting your earning potential. And boy, did she take that lesson to heart when it came to Harry. As 2020 rolled on, the deals began to pour in. Netflix, Spotify, Arch, their foundation. But these ventures weren't just about making money. They were about securing her future. And Meghan wasn't just sitting back and letting Harry handle the contracts. No, she was making sure that she had the upper hand. Every business deal, every joint project, Meghan made sure her name was at the top. Under the prenup, she had a legal claim to those earnings. But more importantly, the amendment gave her something far more valuable: majority ownership of the brand if things fell apart. Bauer spoke to insiders from Meghan's first divorce, and they confirmed the pattern. Meghan is all about the exit strategy. She doesn't want any messy entanglements if things go south. She wants a clean break, one that protects her career, her brand, and most importantly, her bank account. This is where the Sunshine Sachs move comes in. In 2017, Meghan first hired the PR firm, and now they're back. But this time, it's not just about managing a royal image, it's about preparing for a high-profile split. Tom Bauer says the key to understanding why Sunshine Sachs was rehired is all in the timing. You bring in the crisis management specialists before the world knows anything is happening. You start planting the narratives, shaping public opinion, and ensuring that when the time comes, the world sees you as the one who's been wronged. But that's not all. Meghan has been making strategic moves with money since 2022, and these aren't just random decisions. Bauer points to the launch of American Riviera Orchard, a separate business entity filed under Meghan's name alone. She's been making moves, setting up a financial structure that ensures her independence. She's not relying on Harry. She's building her empire, quietly and with precision. Harry? Well, he's busy fighting legal battles in London. He's embroiled in court cases, dealing with the aftermath of his memoir. But all of this? It's a distraction. It's pushing him further away from the one thing he holds dear: his family. Meanwhile, Meghan is securing her future. The question is, has she been planning this all along? And now, as the pieces of this puzzle start to fit together, we begin to see a pattern. Everything from the prenup amendments to the business filings, the strategic PR moves, and the quiet shifts in financial structures point to one thing: Meghan has positioned herself for something far bigger than just a marriage. She's orchestrating a career, a brand, and an empire that's entirely independent of Harry. And when this divorce finally happens, if it happens, it's going to be a full-on battle. As we dive deeper into this tangled web of legal, financial, and emotional entanglements, the reality of Meghan's calculated moves begins to come into focus. What seemed like a fairy tale romance has now unraveled into something far darker and far more strategic. Meghan Markle, with the guidance of her team, especially Sunshine Sachs, has been carefully setting herself up for an independent future that leaves Harry, well, in the dust. In 2022, as the Netflix deal started to falter and the shine of their deal started to dim, Meghan knew exactly what she needed to do. The $100 million Netflix contract wasn't a lump sum given to them on a silver platter. It was based on the production of content, and what we know is that not all of it has lived up to expectations. Meghan's cooking show and the animated series Pearl both flopped, and some projects never even saw the light of day. But despite this, Meghan was already ahead of the game, setting up separate ventures that would allow her to thrive on her own outside of the Sussex brand. Bauer's sources reveal that Meghan strategically began filing trademarks for her new business, American Riviera Orchard, under her name alone. This wasn't a casual move, it was a calculated decision to ensure that in the event of a divorce, she would be financially secure and independent. There were no joint filings, no equal partnership. The trademarks didn't mention Harry, this was all hers, and it was clear that she was building a brand that didn't rely on the royal connections or Harry's name. But here's where things get truly telling. As their solo ventures began to take off, Meghan began distancing herself from Harry in public. She stopped making joint appearances unless it was required. This wasn't some sudden change of heart, it was a planned move. Meghan was putting up walls between herself and Harry, making sure that when the time came to separate, it would be easy to walk away without the messy entanglements that would come from shared businesses, finances, or a joint image. Harry, meanwhile, continued with his public struggles. His memoir, Spare, had already caused a stir, but as we saw in the aftermath, it wasn't just about spilling family secrets. It was a strategic move. He needed to justify his existence in the public eye to keep the narrative of his life alive. But while Harry is busy with his emotional outbursts and fighting court cases, Meghan is quietly building a solid financial foundation, one that would allow her to thrive independently. The amendment to their prenup, which was signed without Harry fully understanding its ramifications, gave Meghan primary control over their brand and business. It wasn't just about intellectual property rights. It was about control over the content, the stories, the brand that they had both created together. Meghan, as business manager, negotiated all the deals. She ensured that everything they did, everything they built, was structured in a way that would benefit her should things fall apart. And according to Bauer's investigation, this wasn't some accidental oversight. This was a calculated move, one that Harry trusted Meghan to handle. So what does this mean for Harry? The reality is that he might be walking into a future where he doesn't just lose his marriage, but everything he built with Meghan. The Montecito mansion, Archwell, the Netflix deals, even his own brand. Harry might find himself sidelined, left with far less than he ever imagined. Even the assets they share could be divided in a way that heavily favors Meghan, as the prenuptial clause ensures that she holds the primary claim to their joint earnings and intellectual property. But here's the kicker. The biggest blow to Harry might not be financial. It might be emotional. According to insiders, Harry might know something's wrong, but he doesn't understand just how deep the trap is. He sees the cracks, the tension, and the distance growing between him and Meghan, but he hasn't fully grasped the full extent of what Meghan has done. And that's what makes this situation even more heartbreaking for him. He's fighting battles in court, struggling with his own demons, but the battle that might truly ruin him could be happening quietly behind closed doors. Bauer points out the key moments where Meghan's strategy became crystal clear. When she rehired Sunshine Sachs in 2026, it wasn't just about handling PR, it was about preparing for the endgame. Divorce PR is all about timing, shaping the narrative before anything goes public, and Bauer makes it clear that Meghan is a pro at controlling the narrative. She has been working with Sunshine Sachs to plan stories, to build sympathy, and to frame Harry as the one who's been the problem all along. This isn't a random sequence of events, it's a long-term strategy, one that Meghan has been executing with military precision. Let's not forget the financial moves she's been making. Meghan isn't just setting herself up with her own businesses, she's also been quietly reorganizing their financial structure. She launched American Riviera Orchard under her own name, ensuring it wasn't tied to Harry in any way. Her podcast deal with Lemon Media lists her as the sole proprietor. She's taken steps to separate herself financially from Harry to ensure that if things do go south, she's in the best possible position. Even the Montecito mansion, the couple's most prized asset, is protected under California's homestead laws, ensuring it's safe from any future division of assets. Bauer's sources have also confirmed that Meghan's focus on building her solo ventures wasn't just a coincidence. Every step she's taken has been designed to protect her career, her brand, and her wealth. From trademark filings to business registrations, Meghan has been positioning herself as a self-sufficient force, one who can stand on her own even if the marriage falls apart. And as much as Harry might have been oblivious to the prenup's impact, Meghan has been meticulous in her planning. Now, as the divorce rumors swirl, Meghan's position is clear. She's the one with the power, the financial independence, and the control over their joint ventures. Harry, on the other hand, is left in a precarious situation. He's fighting battles on multiple fronts, but the one battle that could cost him everything, his family, his fortune, his legacy, might already be over before he even realizes it. The big question now is whether Harry can break free from the trap Meghan has set, or if he'll be left with nothing more than a shattered dream. The future remains uncertain, but one thing is for sure: the reality behind their marriage is far darker than anyone could have imagined. Meghan's meticulously planned empire is now in full swing, and Harry is on the verge of losing it all.